Hello, my name is Brianna Bell, and today I will be giving my persuasive speech on promoting prayer in education through the implementation of prayer space in the classroom. And the way that I'm going to kind of signify that for you is the civic benefit to integrating religion into the classroom through a prayer space across all grades, kindergarten through 12th. So basically saying that we're going to implement, we're going to put a pop-up prayer space in every single classroom, grades kindergarten through 12th. Basically is going to provide a civic benefit because students that are allowed the access to pray, I guess, or have the ability to engage in prayer throughout the school day when they're most stimulated, where they go through the most social interaction during the day, and different ups and downs of what that day entails. By having access to a space in the classroom where they can engage in prayer, and it's promoted, it's encouraged, it's known that it's a safe space where you can go and unwind as a student and let things off your shoulders and talk to God and seek guidance outside of what's going on in your school day, is providing a civic benefit because those students are more likely to academically produce higher achievement, and they also are more likely to have a stronger state of mental health because they are learning to self-cope in a way that is healthy and in a way that is beneficial not only to them but to their peers, to their teachers, to their parents, to their families, because it's telling them, hey, there's a safe space for you to go and talk to God when you feel like you've got the world on your shoulders throughout the school day, or you're stressed out, or you just need to talk to somebody other than your teacher or your friends, or some kids may not even have people to talk to at school, and they just need to go into that space and know that they're in a safe space where they can kind of let everything off their shoulders. So by giving kids an outlet throughout the day when they go through the most social interaction and stimulation, they are more likely to utilize that outlet and are less likely to engage in behavioral issues and have to deal with behavioral disciplinary issues because they're lashing out because they don't know how to cope with the stress of the school day, or they don't know how to deal with certain things that take place during the school day. And so instead of lashing out behavioral-wise or getting in trouble or doing things that they shouldn't be doing, they can go into their safe space and pray and talk to God about, hey, this is what's going on, I need some guidance, or hey, God, I just need to get this off my chest, or I just need someone to talk to about the run of events that have gone on throughout the day. So there's been a couple studies that have looked at religion and prayer and mental health correlated. So Lewis and Francis is a study that actually took a certain amount of participants and basically looked at the correlation between the amount of prayer that the participants were engaging in and their coping abilities. And so the study showed that those who pray more had a stronger correlation with having the ability to self-cope and self-cope well instead of lashing out in other ways because their lack of knowledge or skill in self-coping wasn't there. And so that study basically signifies that the more likely you are to engage in prayer, the more likely you are to develop a self-coping mechanism and a healthy way of dealing with things on your own through communicating with God instead of resulting to unhealthy outlets because you don't understand mentally how to deal with some of those stresses or those things that you've got going on in your head. There also was a study done by Breslin and Dean, and this was actually a study that took place around 10 or 11 years ago, but it was taking place in Protestant and Catholic schools, and it basically looked at the engagement of students who were engaged in their religious classes and their psychological state of mind. And so students that were performing higher in their religious classes and were more engaged in their religious classes had a a better, stronger psychological state. And they did that through a series of tests. So there was a positive correlation between students who were psychologically healthy and that were doing well and excelling in their religious courses. And so there was a link between the two. And actually the concept of pop-up prayer spaces has already been implemented in the UK, and they have actually, across 15 different schools in the UK, they have, there's a company called Pop-Up Prayer, and they actually have brought in little spaces into various classrooms within schools and allowed students that outlet to go and pray throughout the day. And 500 students have reported positive feedback of having that outlet and that safe space available for them throughout the day to go and, have peace of mind and be able to just let things out and do it in a way that's healthy and that's going to benefit them. And so, conclusively, we as students and adults need to understand that we can't carry these burdens on our own, and there's a lot that goes on throughout the school day that you can carry with you. And so I just want to integrate Psalm 55:22, which says, "Cast your burden out on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved." So this basically just reassures that we can't do everything on our own, and we need to look to God to help take that burden off our shoulders, and prayer is a healthy way of doing that. And so through the implementation of prayer in educational settings, students are, like I said, more likely to perform at a higher academic standard and engage in less behavioral disciplinary issues, which is that civic benefit. And that civic benefit not only allows them to perform better in school, but also encourages healthy ways of integrating religion into education, and expressing their thoughts and feelings freely without being judged. So that is my persuasive speech, and I hope you like it.